Hello, everybody. Welcome to CGN Live, episode, what are we on? 7? Episode 7. So that means 7 weeks we've been going live with CGN. Thanks for joining me. If you're in the comments, please drop a hello. Let me know where you're joining me from and how you're doing today. Let me know what comic books you're reading. Let me know if you're watching March Madness today. It starts at noon, the big college basketball tournament. I've got to represent my alma mater, Penn State. Got my Penn State shirt on. As everybody trickles in here, I'm going to share that we are live in a few places. But yeah, let me know what comic books you guys are reading and what comic books you picked up lately. Maybe you have some CGN hauls. You can let me know that. I don't know why I have that song stuck in my head today. Let me see here. Story. Link. Thanks for joining me, guys. If you're trickling in, like I said, just let me know what books you've been reading lately, what comic books you picked up, what comic books you're excited about picking up soon. All right. Oh, gotta get my second screen going here. Okay. So CGN Live, we do a weekly show here, and we go over the comic books that are coming out the following week, the ones that will be available on the website starting next Monday. So Monday night is when we post all of the comic books and graphic novels that we have on sale for that week. And I always make a post about it on social media. So make sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at CheapGN on all those platforms. And every Monday, whenever the books are ready to go, the minute they're live, Max sends me a text and I make the post and let you know when you guys can go shopping. So the books for this week are live. Some of the big highlights were like Tokyo Ghost Deluxe Edition. I know that we've sold out of actually our first initial stock of that, but don't fret. We are getting more in stock for you, so you can actually order those now, and then whenever they come in stock, the minute they're in the warehouse, we'll ship it out to you. I know that was a big one from Rick Remender. It seems like Rick Remender is reprinting all of his big classic stories in the Remender size, the oversized deluxe editions. Like I know Deadly Class, the 3 volumes of that, they might still be in print. And that's another thing too. If you have any questions about what we have in stock or available to order on cheapgraphicnovels.com, I can look for that and let you know that as well. I'm here to answer any of those questions. But Dead of the Class, I know Volume 4 comes out. I know 7 to Eternity just got a reprint already. And then Tokyo Ghost, like I said, that's out now. I saw somewhere, they're not up for pre-order anywhere at all yet, but I know that Black Science looks like it's going to get reprinted in the deluxe hardcovers as well later this year. And Fear Agent, that's the big one. Fear Agent, which was previously released in the library editions for Dark Horse. Those same size deluxe hardcovers are being reprinted over at Image now that Remender has all his books there. And then, he has like his new series too. Scumbag is getting deluxe hardcover, and Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. Is that the name of that title? So yeah, Rick Remender has a huge year for hardcovers. So if you're a Remender fan or you're getting into Remender comics, this is the year to do that. I can also let you know which ones are up for pre-order already. There's a few of those that are. But yeah, let's go and dive into next week's releases. One, as I set this up too, one important thing I want to announce is that we will have a newsletter, a weekly newsletter that'll be launching very soon. We don't have an official date yet, but again, just be sure to follow us on social media, and I'm sure you'll hear all about that, where you can subscribe to that. But it'll be a weekly newsletter that I'll be able to write up, that I'm excited about, because it's going to give me an opportunity to write some editorial type stuff about comics, which is one of the things I love to do. So, all right. So next week, like I said, these books will be available on Monday. It looks like we have 50 books to show off today. And these books will be available Monday night next week. Follow us on social media, and I'll let you know the minute that you can order them. So right now, if you're looking at the screen, they say out of stock. Let me change the screen format there. The layout. Is it going to change? There we go. I like that one better. Looks like you can see the books better. Yeah, the minute that they go live on Monday, on social media, we'll let you know when you can buy them. So up first, we have the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl Omnibus with 2 covers. This first one, is provided by Arthur Adams, the great Arthur Adams. And this is the Ryan North run of Squirrel Girl. So this includes everything from that run. Every issue and appearance that you could possibly want from that run. So it doesn't include like the original stuff, like the Steve Ditko issue where he created and introduced the character. It's not like that classic of stuff, but like the new era stuff. So it includes the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl issues 1 through 50. The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl beats up the Marvel Universe. Howard the Duck number 6. And material from A Year of Marvel's Unbeatable and Not Brand Ech number 14. And from 2017. I didn't know there was a new Not Brand Ech series in 2017. Wow. Someone let me know if that was any good. I love the classic Not Brand Ech. I was just explaining to my son the other day what that meant. Because we were reading the What If series, the classic What If comics. And that came up for some reason. Like, I don't know if there's like a backup strip or something. So I was explaining the history of the Not Brand Ech thing that, or brand or issue title or saying that Stan Lee used to always say. But yes, this is over 60 issues, it looks like, of material. This omnibus is huge. I know that. So like I said, this is the Arthur Adams cover. I can show off the next one. And that was the direct market variant cover, the Arthur Adams one. And this one is provided by Erica Henderson, who is one of the main artists on the line. It's so thick that it looks like a flat spine. I know there was like this flat spine gate a few years back that people were upset about. Like, I think the Black Widow Strikes omnibus that I have up there is one of the flat spines. This one is so thick that it looks like a flat spine, but Omar from Near My Condition has assured me that it's not. But it's 1,616 pages is how big this bad boy is. It's not the biggest omnibus still. That achievement stands with Avengers vs. X-Men, which was 1680, almost 1,700. This is a big one. And Squirrel Girl, I mean, a lot of people give it a lot of flack. It has its audience, and that's all that's important. And I'll always go to bat for Squirrel Girl, because Squirrel Girl is the one reason why my niece got into comic books. So shout out to her. But whatever gets people into comic books, I'm going to support and be in favor of. So if it's Squirrel Girl, then, hallelujah. I know she's gone on to read other comic books as well. And I've never read. I see that Owen's in the chat here. Let's give him some props here. I've never read any Squirrel Girl before. Solo Squirrel Girl. Neither have I. And I do want to read it, because that era of Marvel is a lot of fun. Like I know Ms. Marvel for that era I liked a lot, and then Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur was like a revelation for me about how fun that comic book was. And my son actually just went through and read all those too, and he loved them. So maybe this is in line with those. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you've read it. We have Psycho Cleveland in the chat. Thank you for joining us. I'm waiting for Lanzo Sneak kills the Marvel Universe. Yeah, if Nate Garcia wants to do that comic, I would definitely read it. Nate Garcia, one day he's gonna show up on this show here. There's gonna be a Fantagraphics Books published work of Nate Garcia that I'll be able to show off on here that we have on sale at Cheap Graphic Novels. I know Cycle and I are big fans of him. Up next, we have the Savage Avengers by Jerry Duggan Omnibus. We have 2 covers. So this first one is a Mike Deodato Jr. direct market variant. And for those of you that don't know, so the DM cover, all that means is it's a direct market variant exclusive. So only the direct market can sell this cover, and the direct market is just comic book shops. So there's like a direct market and there's a book market. The book market is places like Barnes & Noble and the dreaded Jeff Bezos company. That starts with an A. But Cheap Graphic Novels is a comic book shop, so we have the direct market variant exclusive options for you. And this one here is by, like I said, Mike Deodato Jr., who is the main artist on this series. This is the 2019 run of Savage Avengers. This retails for $100. We have it available to you for $59.99. That's 40% off. And this collects Savage Avengers 0 through 28, annual number 1, Uncanny X-Men 190 through 191, and material from Free Comic Book Day 2019. So this is important because this includes Conan in the series. So this is, they don't call it an Elseworlds tale, but it doesn't take place in the main continuity of Marvel. But this is a Savage Avengers team that has Venom, Wolverine, Conan, the Punisher, Elektra, Brother Voodoo, Deadpool. It looks like Magic, Doctor Strange, Black Widow. These characters are all in the description here. But the reason why this is important because it has Conan the Barbarian in it. We have not received confirmation if this will be a one and done printing of this book, because the rights for Conan the Barbarian have now transferred over to Titan Comics. So Heroic Signatures is the company that owns the publishing rights of Conan comics. They have taken the Conan license to Titan Comics, and Titan is reprinting a lot of the omnibuses and the Marvel material and all that. They will not be able to publish this. Titan won't, because it has all these Marvel characters in it. But I don't know if Marvel will be able to reprint this because it does have Conan in it. It's one of those weird things. And then throw in the caveat that Conan is a public domain character. So to my understanding of how the public domain works, you can have that character appear in any story, but since the trademark is different, you can't name the story Conan the Barbarian, but you can have the character in it. So if that is how it works, I'm not a lawyer, but that's how I understand it, then you would think that Marvel could continue to reprint this as long as it's not called like Savage Avengers with Conan. But there is not confirmation on that. Omar has not received confirmation on that. So my whole spiel here is to tell you to buy this now if it's something that you want, because this might be the only time we ever see this in print. And I will say, Uncanny X-Men 190 and 191, those are classic issues that I believe had Conan in them. I think that's why those are part of this omnibus. Sometimes they just like pad out the omnibus with classic issues that might pertain to the story. So those are issues. I think they have Conan in them. Someone correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe Conan the Barbarian appears in those issues, and that's why those are there. I don't think I have. Do I have any collections that have those issues in it? Uncanny 190 through 191. Let me look here. Are those in the Epic collections yet? Oh, they are. They're in Epic Collection The Gift here. Let's find out together. Let me stop sharing my screen and we'll find out together why those are collected in here. I'm pretty sure Conan's in it, though. No one in the chat's corrected me yet. It's a race. Me versus the chat. Who's going to find out first? 190. Okay, they're the first two issues. So what I'm looking at right now is the X-Men Epic Collection, The Gift. So these are Chris Claremont era, obviously, and John Romita Jr. is on the art. Looks like the X-Men are going back in time. Warlock's in here. Storm is in some classic Conan era getup. I see a barbarian character, but it does not look like Conan. Let me just show you. It's got that barbarian character there in the bottom, right there. But that's not Conan. Maybe it's just X-Men going back, and maybe it's because it's like Wolverine mixed with that era. Ooh, the next issue after that is John Romita and Dan Green. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. Maybe Conan outright, but maybe it's just the mixture of Wolverine in that era. I don't know. So maybe it's not Conan. Maybe that doesn't even matter. Let's get some more chat here. Coley says, "Now that's a series I want to check out. Love Deodato Jr. Yeah, Deodato Jr.'s artwork is awesome. I agree. Savage Adventures was something that I was very interested in checking out, so I might have to get this. Yes, Connor. Sorry. Yes, this is something you'll need to check out. I think I'm going to get it too. It's just something that, like I've said, I don't know if they'll be able to reprint this, so there's something I wanted to read. And I think they pulled this off of the Marvel app, Marvel Unlimited. So I don't think you can even get it on digitally on their web service there. This is the standard edition cover by David Finch, which is a great cover. There you see Conan, Punisher, Elektra, Wolverine, Venom, and it looks like Brother Voodoo there, maybe. Yeah, I haven't read this run, but it just the mixture of characters there. It's like a ragtag team of the more violent side of Marvel, maybe. Should be fun. One thing I didn't note was the Squirrel Girl Omnibus is $89.99 because it's a $150 cover price, which is just because it's a 1600 pager. It's one of the fatter ones, so that's why it's that cover price. Up next, we have Star Wars Darth Vader by Charles Soule, with the aforementioned Deodato on the cover there. And this is a restock, and it looks like there's only one cover available. Is that right? Yeah. So just this one cover. So a lot of these restocks that Marvel's doing just has the one cover option. Like I know, on Near Mint Conditions social media, we just shared the Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 restock that's coming out soon. And Marvel is only reprinting, restocking, what have you, the Jerome Opeña cover for that one, the standard edition. So it looks like Marvel maybe with Penguin Random House, maybe restocking these omnibuses maybe more frequently, but only doing one cover. I'm not sure about that, but this seems to be the strategy here. So this is the Deodato cover of this. This includes Darth Vader 1 through 25 in the annual number 2. Like I said, this is a Charles Soule run, which is the follow-up to the Kieran Gillen run of Darth Vader. And you get that for $59.99, $100 cover price. Then we do have both covers available for the Uncanny X-Men Volume 1 restock. So the direct market cover is this. Who did this one? Watson. I'm not sure Watson's first name, but it's just an homage cover to the Giant Size X-Men #1. That's on the direct market cover, and then I will show the original cover which is the Bill Kane cover. But Giant Size X-Men. So this is the new era of X-Men. If you're not familiar, especially if we're talking omnibuses, there's 2 Silver Age X-Men omnibuses. Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. What am I doing here? You can't even see what I'm looking at. You're just looking at my face. Look at my computer. That's a lot of fun. Let me make sure that's sharing now. There we go. Okay. So if you're not familiar, there's 2 Silver Age X-Men omnibuses that take place, and they go to issue 63. Let me see. I always forget the number. 66. So back in the day, Marvel had X-Men as a comic book series, and it lasted all the way to issue number 66. At that point, it was canceled, and then they continued to print new issue numbers all the way through 93. So 1 through 66 are the original X-Men issues. Issues 67 through 93 are just reprints. They had new covers, but they just reprinted old material. And then with Giant Size X-Men, relaunched the X-Men. And that's the cover you see on this omnibus there. And that's the first issue in this omnibus. And then it kicks off with Uncanny X-Men 94 all the way through 131 and annual number 3. So this is newly remastered and colored. But this is the classic Chris Claremont X-Men. This is a perfect starting point for X-Men if you're wanting to jump in. You don't need to have read the first 66 issues. I think those issues are good. They get a lot of flack for being like Silver Agey and not the best work, especially the early ones by Kirby. People say it's like kind of Jack Kirby's lesser work of that era. But I still think they're a lot of fun, especially the later issues that have. There's like a couple by Jim Steranko, which are great, and then there's a bunch of Neil Adams artwork in some of those later issues when Roy Thomas is on writing that are fantastic. But otherwise, if you just want to get into like Bronze Age X-Men and the Chris Claremont era that lasted for 17 years, this is a perfect starting point. This might be like the 6th or 7th printing of this omnibus. It's very popular, but it's a perfect starting point. You can get it for $59.99 next week. DM or standard cover. This next book, I'm going to say it's called TNC, but it's from Fantagraphics. You can see on the screen there what it's actually titled. I just don't want to be demonetized. We're not even monetized on YouTube, but I just want to be kicked off YouTube. But this is from Fantagraphics books. These are underground comics from feminist underground cartoonists that had like an anthology series coming out, and it took place from 1972 to 1987. You can see there on the cover. This is cover priced at $59.99, and you get it for $44.99 next week at Graphic Novels. But this has cartoon artwork by Mary Fleener, Roberta Gregory, Christine Kittrey, Lee Mars, Trina Robbins, Doris Seda. So a lot of the same. If you have the women's comics anthology, Joyce Farmer and Lynn Chevley's in here too. If the women's comics, a lot of those, there'll probably be a lot of crossover from the cartoonists you see there. But it was kind of like the answer to like Zap Comics and what a lot of the stuff that the guys like Robert Crumb and Spain Rodriguez were doing over at Zap. But women cartoonists wanted to get their chance at cartooning. That's that. Then we have the Marvel Masterworks Dazzler Volume 4. This is the 339th Marvel Masterworks. And that's what cover this one is. So there's always two covers with these Masterworks volumes. One of them will have on the spine what volume number they are for the entirety of the Masterworks line. I can get my cover to load on here. This is the cool one, too. I want to show this one off. And then the other cover is going to be on the spine. I'll just show you Dazzler Volume 4. So it's like just showing you the volume number for the line that you're looking at there. The Dazzler one always looks really cool, though, the variant. You can see it there with the sparks and stuff coming out. Those are both $44.99 a piece on Cheap Graphic Novels next week. Those are 40% off. Then we have a very British affair, the best of classic romance comics. This is from Rebellion 2000 AD, and I'm very interested in this. If there's anyone in the comments that have read anything from this, let me know. I love the classic romance comics that like Jack Kirby did in the Silver Age, and then like Millie the Model, Patsy Walker, those ones that took place in like or are printed in the August 1961 Omnibus. But these are British romance comics, and the art on it looks very cool. It makes me curious which artists worked on it, but it doesn't say in here. The only person listed is Eisner-nominated historian David Roach is the one that curated the collection. But it's featuring an eclectic mix of artists from Spain, Italy, and the UK. So let me know if anybody is familiar with that material. But that's a hardcover, and it is $41.25, which is a savings of $13.75 at Cheap Graphic Novels next week. Next, we have the Hostage Slipcase Volume 1 hardcover from Mercury Comics. The writer is Sal Abenanti. You get this for $12.50 off. It's cover priced $49.99, and we have it for 25% off. It says, Hostage tells the story of a group of street kids who are abandoned by society. They are dying every day from poverty and gang violence. So these kids join together to summon a mystical spirit who will protect them and avenge the deaths of their friends. Contributions from Alex Ross and Bill Sienkiewicz, and more. That's not what I'm super familiar with. I'm not really that familiar with Mercury Comics either. That's a publisher I don't know too much about. Let me know in the comments if you are familiar, in the chat, I mean, if I should check that out. Up next, we have Fantastic Four Epic Collection, Dream is Dead. And this is the conclusion of the Steve Englehart era of Fantastic Four. This is Epic Collection, volume number... Hold on, I'll be able to tell you. It includes issues 321 through 333. So that is 321 through 333. Okay, I'm going to find it here. Okay, there it is. Oh, this is volume 19. Yes, this is an important volume because we have volumes 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23 all out right now. And this is like the gap filler. So this volume that comes out right now will fill that gap with Fantastic Four stuff from the late 80s, early 90s. This is a conclusion of Steve Englehart run, and it ended in a tumult, in a not so great way. I can't say the word I'm thinking of. But Steve Englehart had some issues with editorial, and even to the point to where his last issue that he wrote in this book, he credits himself as John Harkness. He doesn't even want to credit himself as Steve Englehart. So it concludes that run, but also has the Marvel graphic novel Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment. That's the great graphic novel that is written by Roger Stern with fantastic artwork by Mike Mignola of Hellboy fame. So that is included in this Epic Collection, and it's also included in the Doctor Strange Epic Collection that is titled Triumph and Torment. So if you're looking at Doctor Strange Epic Collections, it's in there. I'm assuming it's in here to pad out this Epic Collection, but also because it includes Doctor Doom. The Fantastic Four characters are not in that graphic novel, but it's an important story for Doctor Doom. So that is that Epic Collection. Then we have Wolverine by Benjamin Percy Deluxe Edition Volume 2. This is the Benjamin Percy run that he's started during the Hickman era. So the Hoxpox era of X-Men. Benjamin Percy's written, I think he's past issue 30 now, if he's still writing it. But this includes issues 14 through 25. So the first volume included issues 1 through 13. So together there you can get all 25 issues. And if you want me to check to see if we have volume 1 in stock or any other books, rather, put that in the chat and I can look that up and we can talk about that on air. But this, and I should have said, the Fantastic Four Epic Collection are both $26.99, 40% off next week on Cheap Graphic Novels. Then the aforementioned Doctor Strange Epic Collection, Triumph and Torment, is here. This is a reprint. And as Omar of New York Edition always tells us, that these reprinted Epic Collections get small print runs. They do not get as large of print runs as the first printing of these. So if this is something that you need to add to your collection or you've been waiting for, I know this is a popular book printed the first time it came out, then maybe don't hesitate too long on this one. But this is the era of Doctor Strange. You have artwork from Richard Case, Butch Guice, and then Mike Mignola from the titular graphic novel there. Then you have writing from Peter Gillis, Roy Thomas, Dan Thomas, Jean-Marc Lefessier, and Roger Stern. This includes Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme, number 1 through 13, and then the Triumph and Torment graphic novel. This is volume 8 in the Epic Collections, which means it takes place... Oh, we don't have volume 7, right? This is volume 8. So this one, yes. This one takes place right before the Vampiric Verses, it looks like. I have that one. And it's the beginning of the Sorcerer Supreme era. That started in 1988. And that is also $26.99. Then we have the Guardians of the Galaxy by Donny Cates, trade paperback. This is not titled a complete collection, but it pretty much is because it includes the entirety of Donny Cates' Guardians of the Galaxy run, which is issues 1 through 12, and the Guardians of the Galaxy annual number 1 from 2019. This was previously collected in an oversized hardcover, which I remember came out at the same time as the Cosmic Universe by Donny Cates Omnibus. But this material was not in the omnibus. But if you're a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, I know we have a new movie coming out that I'm super stoked about. This is the Donny Cates run. And that is $23.99 next week. We have Power Girl Power Trip. This is the Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti run with, I guess, some writing by Jeff Johns. It includes JSA Classified 1 through 4 and Power Girl 1 through 12. I'm guessing the Jeff Johns stuff is the JSA Classified, and then the Power Girl 1 through 12 is the Palmiotti Amanda Conner run. Yeah, so if you're familiar with the JSA by Jeff Johns era, this is what that takes place in. I've not read this, but I've heard that this is a fantastic, fantastic run that a lot of people are touting, and I guess this is a newer printing of this material, and the previous printing was like went out of stock and was going for crazy prices on the secondary market. You can get this trade paperback for $23.99. It's 40% off. You get that next week on Monday night at Cheap Graphic Novels. We have another Fantagraphics release. This one is more PG versus the previous one that we talked about. This is Walt Disney's Mickey and Donald Donald Doorbell Tolls and Other Tales. This is part of the okay. Yeah, this is part of the, what do they call it? I have a box set of this. The Disney Masters, that's what it's called. Line of Disney comics that Fantagraphics does. And these are all of the European cartoonists are in the Disney Masters line. So a lot of cartoonists from France and Italy. Looks like this one's from Italy. The writer is Andrea Fresero and Alessandro Perina. The artist is Stefano Tirsoni. Hopefully I didn't butcher those too bad. But it says Ernest Hemingway, Nobel and Pulitzer Prize winner, war hero, famed novelist, journalist, adventurer, and inspiration to Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Scrooge McDuck and Goofy. The year 1999. The place, Italy. Fan favorite Venetian Disney cartoonist Giorgio Cavazzano dared a creative team to take its cues from Ernest Hemingway for a striking, cinematic, and occasionally silly new series of Duckburg tales. So, yeah. So good stuff there if you're into the Disney comics. I know I am, especially the Carl Barks stuff. This next one is Black Hammer, Colonel Weird in a Little Andromeda hardcover. Let me check something real fast, because this is one that I'm really confused by, this release, because they've been doing the World of Black Hammer library editions, and I was wondering if this is library sized or not, or if it's a standard size hardcover. Let's see if we can find out for us while we're on the air. It says right here the dimensions are 8.2 by 12.5. That sounds library sized. Let me compare that to a World of Black Hammer. Size dimensions. Yeah, 8. Okay, so this appears to be library sized. It's not titled Library Edition, though. And if it's already library sized, then I'm assuming this will not appear in a World of Black Hammer Library Edition, which is very, very interesting. I'm very much in tune with the Black Hammer universe and how that's being released and whatnot, but this one snuck up on me. I don't remember this being released in single issues or anything. But Colonel Weird is a character from Black Hammer, which is a fantastic independent superhero series, which was started by Jeff Lemire and who's the gentleman? Oh, geez. Dean Ormston. It's started by Jeff Lemire and Dean Ormston, and there's so far there's 2 regular Black Hammer library editions, and then there's 4 World of Black Hammer library editions with a volume 5 and 6 on the horizon, and then I think a 3rd volume of the main continuity. So the World of ones are like the spin-off series. But this one says spacefaring adventurer Colonel Weird sets forth on a journey to save his superhero colleagues from their rural purgatory by entering the Parrot Zone, only to find himself paired with the much, much younger Dr. Andromeda on a series of fantastical adventures through sordid worlds and dimensions, featuring a rock star artist lineup of some of the best creators in comics today. Ariella Cristantino, Ray Fox, Andre Sorrentino, Marguerite Savage, Yuko Shim. Okay, so I'm thinking this is a graphic novel of sorts that was not released in single issues. If I have any of this wrong, let me know in the chat. And as Colonel Weird, which is like the Adam Strange character of the Black Hammer universe, as he's going through different dimensions, I'm assuming the artist changes. So that's why you see all these different artists through the story. That's what I'm going to guess. But this is the library sized according to what I just looked up. You can get it for $20.99 at Cheap Graphic Novels next Monday. That's 30% off of the $29.99 cover price. Interesting. I'd be excited to see that one and how it looks on the shelf compared to the other library editions. Then we have Powers, Volume 3 trade paperback. So this is the classic early aughts series from Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming. This was a series that was kind of like a police procedural, if you will, in a superhero universe. You're following the police officers and how they react to superheroes. And it's a lot different than like what you think of like Gotham Central. Like Gotham Central really focused in on just the police side of things. This, you see a lot of interaction between the police and the superheroes. But this has been classic material it's now being reprinted by Dark Horse because Brian Michael Bendis has now taken all of his creator-owned stuff and has his own imprint with Dark Horse Comics. So this is volume 3 of this new reprint series of these, and this collects issues 25 through 37. And they also have a brand new cover from Michael Avon Oeming. These are like the thicker trade paperbacks. Up next, we have Usagi Yojimbo, Volume 7. This is the second edition of these thick trade paperbacks. Let me stop sharing for a second here while I show these off. So you can see them right here on the shelf. If you're familiar with the box set that we just sold recently of Fantagraphics stuff, those are the first 10 years of Usagi Yojimbo stories that Fantagraphics has published. And then Stan Sakai took the Usagi Yojimbo character and started publishing it with Dark Horse. So if you're trying to read it in chronological order, you want the box set for Fantagraphics, and then these Saga paperbacks, which I can pull one off. Show you. And these are like thick trade paperbacks that have like 600 pages of material in them. Super affordable, but all the artwork and lettering and inking is all done by Stan Sakai. If you're not familiar with Usagi Yojimbo, it's a fantastic series of this wandering rabbit samurai Ronin. Yojimbo means bodyguard, so he's just wandering through feudal Japan, and he'll stop into places and people will pay him for his services, where he will go protect things or kill people or whatever he needs to do. It's all anthropomorphic, so it's all animal characters, and great cartooning from Stan Sakai. But there are those super exclusive hardcovers that people have, but they're like, those were limited to 1,500 copies. So if you're wanting to buy those, you're going to be paying like hundreds of dollars per volume. This has all the same exact material. They're just in these paperbacks, and they're all cover price at $30, but you can get them at Cheap Graphic Novels for $20.99. And volume 7 comes out next week. If you want me to look at the other volumes, I can see if we have those on our website. Let me know in the chat if you want me to look this up. But in total, you'll have the box set for Fantagraphics, and you'll have volumes 1 through 9 of those Saga paperbacks that I just showed off. And then there's one titled Legends, which is like the ostensibly volume 10. And then there's some IDW material after that. Let me start sharing again. Share screen. And then we're back to looking at the screen here. But yeah, Usagi Yojimbo is a fantastic character. I think every comic book fan should try it out and read it. And the good thing too is, I know this is volume 7 and they're all titled volume numbers, but Stan Sakai did it in a way that you can really pick up any volume and start it off. You don't have to have read it chronologically at all. As long as you start at a new story arc of some sort, which each volume of these are started a new story arc, you'll be able to pick up on everything that's going on. So that's volume 7. Then we have Orochi, Perfect Edition, volume 4 hardcover. This is the horror manga from Kazu Omez of not Dissolving Classroom, Drifting Classroom. He's the awesome mangaka that brought us Drifting Classroom in those 3 really nice hardcovers. And these are the Hirochi Perfect Editions from Viz Media. So they're the slightly oversized hardcovers, and they're really nice. You get this for $20.24 next week. And we have Belle of the Ball hardcover for $19.99. This looks to be a YA graphic novel from Mary Costa, published by First Second Books. Yeah, it's a YA graphic novel. There we go. About high school wallflower Belle Hawkins, who ends up in a love triangle after tutoring the girlfriend of her crush. So if you're into some teenage melodrama, or if you have a YA graphic novel fan in your life, maybe check out Belle of the Ball hardcover. Get that for $19.99. We have Harvey Knight's Odyssey graphic novel from Nick Mondag. From this is published by Drawn and Quarterly. The premise is universe. But while solarists believe it is possible to achieve a state of pure light by exposing themselves to the rays of the sun, or tanning beds on cloudy days, the forces of dark conspire against them and send hooded shadow men to eliminate the light. So it seems to be a weirder creator-owned series from Nick Mandong. Then we have Ephemera hardcover from Fantagraphic Books. The writer and artist is Brianna Lowenson. Debut graphic novel that is poignantly blends memoir, magic realism, and graphic medicine. Ephemera is a poetic and dreamlike take on the graphic memoir set in a garden, a forest, and a greenhouse. The story drifts among a grown woman, her early childhood memories, and the gossamer existence of her mother. So one of the great graphic novels from Fantagraphics. Pixies of the 60s, You Really Got Me Now. That'd be a ode to the song title, You Really Got Me Now. But this is from Humanoids. The writer is Gihef, and Gili Massione and Alberto Zanin are the artists. In 1960s UK, with swinging London underway, fairies enter the light of the day. Anon, the story of a young fairy who, drawn by the lights of the swinging London, leaves her forest to pursue her dreams of becoming a singer. So it looks like the go-go 60s of the UK mixed with Tinkerbell, maybe. Overwatch New Blood hardcover. So if you're in the Overwatch video game series, this is the graphic novel spinoff. Then we have Joe Death, The Graven Image. This is by The Graven Image by Dark Horse Comics. I was confused. I thought Image Comics was the publisher. Sorry. Benjamin Shipper is the writer and artist on this. And the cover there looks like Andrew McLean art style. I mean, Benjamin Shipper is the artist, but his art style looks like Andrew McLean. Right here in the description, it says art style with a pinch of Mike Mignola and Edward Gorey. I can see both of those two. Somewhere between Mignola and A Fistful of Dollars, this tale is an adventurous take on the existential hitman, set against a dreamy Western backdrop populated by witches, spirits, ghouls, and other monsters. That sounds really awesome, actually. So it's like a Western take with some supernatural stuff going on. Moon Knight Volume 3. Oh, sorry. That price for that is $17.47 next week. We have Moon Knight Volume 3, Halfway to Sanity. This is the Jed MacKay series. Continuing that includes the annual #1 and also issues 13 through 18. I don't know if Lo hits in the chat or not. I know he's joined us a few times, but I know he's a big fan of both Moon Knight and this Jed MacKay series. Get that for $14.99 next week. We have Harley Quinn Volume 3, Verdict, hardcover. This is a standard size hardcover. This is a Stephanie Phillips run with art by Riley Rosmo. Riley Rosmo is a really fun artist. I like his style. But Harley Quinn issues 13 through 17 is what this collects. So I presume with the first 3 volumes there, you can get the first 17 issues. That is $14.99. Up next, we have In Limbo, a debut young adult graphic memoir published by First Second Books with Deb J.J. Lee on writing and art duties. Debut YA graphic memoir about a Korean American girl's coming of age story and coming home story set between New Jersey suburb and Seoul, South Korea. Sounds awesome. So again, if you have a YA fan in your life, or you enjoy that demographic of comics, then here you go. We have the Belle of the Ball graphic novel. This is the soft cover, which is $14.39. So was this First Second that did this? Yeah. So First Second books, a lot, especially with their YA stuff, will release the hardcover and softcover versions on the same day. So that's what that is. Next, we have Warbirds. This looks really cool. This is by Dark Horse as well. The writer is Jeffrey Wessel, and the art is by Steve Parkhouse. Two renegade AI minds want to make a conversation, not war. When a bipedal, independent robot soldier makes a unique connection with an injured flying drone, they flee the war zone. They're in to seek lives of their own. So Steve Parkhouse, artist and co-creator of Resident Evil, joins Jeffrey Wessel. That sounds interesting. Dark Horse has quite a few releases next week. Here's another one. Kings of Nowhere, Volume 2. Saroush Barazesh is the writer and artist for Kings of Nowhere. It has black and white interiors. This is the debut graphic novel series. He has, the artist is also known as Koteri Inc., with over 511,000 Instagram followers. So he's got quite the following on social media, and this is his debut graphic novel series. We have Parasomnia, Volume 2, Dreaming of God. This is written by Colin Bunn, also released by Dark Horse. And Andrea Mutti is the artist. What did she do? Oh, Bunny Mask. Okay. And then Colin Bunn, known for Harrow County. What else? He had a run on Moon Knight. He's done quite a few things. Six Gun. He did that series too. So we turn to the hit tale of two worlds split between dreams and reality. This is Volume 2. It collects a 4-issue miniseries. We have Star Trek Aliens trade paperback. This is from IDW Publishing. Writer is Christina Rice. Artist Andy Price. Delve deeper into the world of Star Trek with special one-shot stories. I know IDW is really pumping out the Star Trek comics, so that's probably part of that initiative. Quest Aside, Volume 1 trade paperback from Vault Comics. The writer is Brian Shermer. Skelton, an apprentice mage, and an exiled princess walk into a bar for another shift at Quest Aside, the local watering hole, run by once legendary, now retired, adventurer Barrow. When the king privately explains that he plans to shut down the place, Barrow must find a way to hold on to his business. Collects the entire best-selling 5-issue series. Sounds interesting. We have Shadow Service Volume 3. West of Sundown Volume 1. This is $13.49. This to be a vampire comic from Aaron Campbell and Jim Terry, published by Vault Comics. And that is, what did I say, Volume 1 for that one? And we have She Bites, which is another vampire comic. Must be Vampire Week next week. This is by Scout Comics. Hedwig Hale is the writer. Pittsburgh, 1997. 134-year-old vampire stuck in her forever 9-year-old little girl body is squatting in a basement apartment she stole from a local pede, who makes the mistake of trying to take her home. All right, this looks to be pretty serious stuff there. New Mutants, Volume 4. I don't know how to transition from that one. This is the continuation of the New Mutants series from 2020. And this includes issues 29 through 33. Then we have Robin Volume 3, Secrets and Shadows. This is the Damian era from Joshua Williamson, the current series ongoing series, with Roger Cruz on the art. Get that for $11.99. We have King Spawn Volume 2 from Image Comics. Writer is Sean Lewis. Artist is Javi Fernandez. You get this for $11.49. This includes King Spawn issues 7 through 12. Of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Reborn, Volume 6, Game Changers. This is the continuation after the Armageddon game event that happened last year. This includes issues 131, 132, a free comic book day issue, and an annual. You get this for $11.89. Basilisk Volume 3 trade paperback for $11.23. Creepshow Volume 1. This is the new Creepshow series. I think R.L. Stine is on writing, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, Chris Burnham. I apologize. Chris Burnham's on writing duties. It collects Creepshow 1 through 5. And we have Multiversity Teen Justice trade paperback. That's $10.19 next week. Spider-Punk Battle of the Band. Not B-A-N-D, though. The B-A-N-N-E-D. Writer is Cody Ziegler. And includes issue Spider-Punk 1 through 5. And I believe he's appearing in the new, what do you call it? Into the Spider-Verse movie. We have Archie Decades, the 60s trade paperback. This is only $8.24 next week on Cheap Graphic Novels. And I do want to know, I was trying to look at the contents of this because I think this would be like Dan DeCarlo era Archie, which could be a lot of fun. He's one of the great Archie artists from back in the day. And last but not least, we have Dead Lucky, Volume 1, The Good Die Young. Image Comics, Melissa Flores on writing duties, and French Carl Magno on art. Includes the Dead Lucky 1 through 6. Oh, this is part of the Massive Verse, which is the Kyle Higgins series that he's been doing with what do you call it? Connor, I know you're in the chat. What's the Massive Verse? I'm drawing a blank here. But it's the Kyle Higgins like superhero / tokusatsu series that he's taken an image. But we have Mark Zimmer. Has there been any word about the Kate's Guardians of the Galaxy run coming out in a hardcover format, or is that trade paperback all there is? It was printed in a oversized hardcover last year, I believe. So it's already come out in oversized hardcover. I don't think it's in print anymore. Let me check. Guardians of the Galaxy. There it is. Yeah, we're out of stock on that. So that came out. Do we have a date on that? 2019 when that came out? That's when the series came out. So 2020. Oh, release date. There it is. January 2021. So I guess it's been a couple years since that oversized hardcover came out. So, Mark, if you're looking for that, you're probably going to go to the aftermarket. That's been since gone out of print. So this, as of now, the only way to get this in print version will be with that trade paperback. And I don't know that that'll be. I suppose if they did a second Donny Cates Cosmic Universe Omnibus, it could be in there potentially. But also, Donny Cates, well, he's on hiatus right now, but I don't think he's done a lot of material that would fit in the Cosmic Universe that would go into that. I guess he could put some of his Thor stuff in there, maybe, but I don't know. So my point is, I think the only way to get that will be that trade paperback, unless you go to like eBay or something, because we're currently out of stock on that oversized hardcover, and Marvel doesn't tend to reprint those. So yeah, hope that answers your question there. But I think that's it. I think we're gonna end this stream here. We've gone about an hour. We do this stream weekly where we go over the following week's graphic novels. Oh, you're welcome, Mark. The following week's graphic novels that are coming out. We do the stream weekly, usually on Thursdays, usually in the afternoon time, around this time. We did and we also will go live whenever the new catalog, the pre-order catalog comes out. The pre-order catalog, the March catalog, is still live. You can still access that on cheapgraphicnovels.com. On the home screen there, there's a scrolling kind of tab thing you can click on for that. And there's also links and information about that in our social media platforms. But we'll go live whenever the next catalog comes out too. And then soon we'll be debuting the Cheap Graphic Novel newsletter. More information about that will be in social media as well, to where you can subscribe to that. But I'm excited about that. I'll be writing the stuff in that newsletter every week. It'll come out, and it'll have information about new books that are coming out, maybe sales that we have going on, and I'm going to have a pick of the week that I pick personally from my recommendations for what you should pick, maybe put under your radar for your future shopping lists with comics and graphic novels. So that's exciting too. So the easiest way to access information for all of this is on social media, on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us at CheapGN. Facebook, just type in Cheap Graphic Novels, you'll find us that way. And then, of course, the home website, cheapgraphicnovels.com, where you can buy all these books that we talked about today. They'll go live and be on sale next Monday evening. Whenever they do go live, I will put out a post on the social media about when you can buy those books. If you have any questions, let us know on social media, or you can even comment on this video if you're watching this after the fact. I always try to revisit these videos and look in the comment section to see if anybody has any questions or what have you. And yeah, so my name's Taylor. Thank you for joining me, and have a good day. If you're going to be watching basketball today, I hope that your bracket doesn't get busted instantly, and go Penn State. I got my Penn State gear on today. They played tonight, and have a good one.